Ladies and Spanks, how are you today? I have a very special video for you today. And I'm so excited to share it with you because this is probably one of the hardest things I've done in gaming besides Elden Ring with Radon. I am getting to round 100 on Citadelle More. Now, I know what you're thinking. Spank, people are getting to round 999. What's the big commotion about this? Wrong. The big commotion about this is that I'm not doing anything that they're doing. Matter of fact, I'm limiting what I can do in this game that'll make my time easier. And I'll explain that to you in a little bit. But if you guys really like this video, I would very much appreciate a like button. It really goes a long way. If you guys want to subscribe, I post videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you already know I'm going to say next. If you guys want to spank my bell, hey, I will not stop you. Let's get right into this challenge video. Guys, I kid you not, I was going into this with such high expectations that I could do this first try, and what you're about to find out is I definitely did not get it on my first try. Matter of fact, all I'm going to say is that this took me 10 hours to complete this challenge. It's just what the rules that I've given myself, criminal. Now you guys might be asking, what is the challenge? What am I limiting? What am I taking out of the game? And here we go. Number one, no camping. I hate camping. I'm not going to do it. That means staying in the wine cellar with the void sword, the raven sword, and sitting in the corner using your mangler injections. I'm not doing any of that. That is boring and that is way too easy. I'm not doing that. Number two, I am not using any sort of out-of-body score streaks such as mutant injection, RCXD, chopper gunners. I'm not using any of those at all. We are in it to win it. Number three, no traps. And the only traps I can think of on this map are the acid traps when you go in from the town up into the Citadelle, and the red sewer drain traps. I don't know what those are called, but I'm not using any of those traps. Now, what I see a lot of people doing is I see a lot of people on the earlier rounds going right up to that red sewer drain, and then they spend it, and what the sewer drain does is it gives you infinite ammo, and what they do is they just look straight down. They just keep shooting rockets over and over and over and over again. Once that's out, they run to the other one. They do the same thing over and over again until they get enough scraps so that they can camp in the wine cellar. We are not going to be doing any of that. Number four, I will not be skipping any rounds, so I will not be using any of the timeouts gobblegum, but I will have it in my inventory for a very special round. Number five, no raven sword. This is probably the best sword in the game. It is just a killing machine. It just sucks all the enemies in with the rift, and it is very good, very easy to use. People like to use this sword when they do the camping strategy. I will not be camping. Of course, I already said that already, and I will not be using this raven sword. Number six, no glitches. I don't know if there's really any glitches in this game. I'm sure there is, but I am not going to use any of those for my advantage. And there you have it. That is the list of things I cannot do. And yeah, it's going to be hard. It's really going to be hard. And like I said, it took me 10 hours to complete. So for my loadout in this first game, of course, I'm going to be using the Krig. That's probably the best early weapon in the game. I'll be using the drill, which really doesn't matter, so I'm just going to be using a sword. Ether Shroud is very important. It's going to be very important. It'll get you out of so many tight situations. Now, I don't really watch many people really play this game at all. I just play it myself and I just do my own thing. But I don't know if people are using tacticals or lethals often. So with this game, I'm going to be using decoys and thermo grenade. Now, for this first game, I just wanted to show you guys that you can get a pack-a-punch ray gun in round one out of the box. And I didn't know what kind of guns I was going to be using, so I used those three gobblegums to make it so I get a pack-a-punch one ray gun on round one. I have soda fountains, so anytime you buy a perk, you get a free perk, which is probably one of the most underrated gobblegums. If I were you guys, I would be using this all the time. And the last one, I forgot the name of it, but it spawns you in a full power so that you can get another Ether Shroud just in case you're all out and you don't want to be caught with your pants down. Now that we got everything from the rules covered and from the loadout covered, let's get into the gameplay. So right off the bat, I get a pack-a-punch ray gun round 1, which is crazy, but I didn't even think about it. I don't even have PhD floppers, so this is just going to be killing me. So during the early rounds, I activate rampage mode to get things up and going, so I can get to making my sword a lot faster and just get the gameplay going. Next, I'm going through the map, getting pack-a-punch, doing all that fun stuff, and then of course, next is getting, oh my gosh, the Caliburn, my baby. Oh, this guy knows what's up with the Caliburn. So one of the things that I did in the early rounds, and you guys can do this, it really doesn't matter, but I like to put all the stamps into the swords so that those zombies with the helmets don't spawn in. Sometimes at the very end of the round, when it transitions from one round to the next, they'll spawn in, they'll just attack you, and it's such an inconvenience. But if you do end up leaving the game, saving and exiting, and then coming right back, even though you put all your stamps into those swords, they will respawn. So I would recommend you do it if you're going to do this in one go like I did, but it's not a huge problem. I think one of my biggest mistakes in this game is the gobblegums that I picked. You'll see later on in this game that I rarely use the ray gun, and honestly, ray gun is not as good as in Cold War in my humble opinion, but I think the one thing that definitely weighed me down in this run are the gobblegums that I picked. 3 of the 5 were just for one gun. And then of course I have soda fountain for the early game so I can get my perks a lot faster and save points, but that only leaves me with one gobblegum. That's power keg. Whoopee. So what I did to progress through the game a lot faster was I tried to train inside of the sword room. I thought that was going to be the fastest way to go through the rounds, but my dumbass forgot that there's this thing called rampage mode, which will just increase the speed of the rounds tenfold. As I progress through the rounds, I start getting all my perks. I start pack-a-punching my Mustang and Sally and my ray gun, and before I even started the game, I had tried these 2 augments on the melee macchiato, and one of them was when you kill a zombie, your backpedaling speed is increased, and the other one was if you kill a zombie, you get health. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to be constantly running, so backpedaling isn't really going to be a big deal for me. But also, I just like killing zombies very fast, so fast swings for me, I recommend so much more than gaining your health. You'll see that in later games, I just have a very good strategy with armor plates, and it's not really that big of a deal. So mid-game, I switch my augments back to my old ones, and then I load it back into the game, and I continue playing. So now that we're in the upper 30s, now I could start talking about what my strategy was to getting to round 100, and that was running around in spawn. Now, in my opinion, spawn will probably be the best area to do this training-wise. I don't really see any other place being as good as this. It's either like too tight of a corridor, or there's just spawns everywhere, or it's just a very linear path. The only problem with training in spawn is how many barriers there are. Zombies will be spawning out of so many of these things, and you have to have good map sense. So here we go. What I first do in the rounds was I tried running around and trying to group up all the zombies. Then I would throw my decoy and then wait for the zombies to pile up, and then I'll throw my thermal nade. And you have to be pretty precise with how you throw it, because you don't want to throw it at the zombies because it'll bounce away, and then all the gas will just go in the air, and then you'll just completely miss half the horde. So I would throw the thermal grenade a little closer towards you rather than towards the horde, and so when it bounces over to them, then it will just get at that perfect spot where it'll just get every single zombie. And then after you do that, then you'll just be running around again doing the same thing. But man, with these early games, I just could not get a good rhythm. I would keep losing armor plate by armor plate, and I would just get to 1 health or 5 health so many times throughout the rounds, and I really tried to make this work, but I just didn't really have good map sense at the time. But if there were doppelgas that were in the midst of the horde, what I would do is I would throw the decoy and then immediately throw the thermal grenade, run away from the horde a little bit, and then go swinging towards the doppelgas. This is the best way that I've found for killing these things without getting surrounded by a horde. When it comes to amalgam rounds, now I don't ever really use my Mustangs and Sallys or my ray gun that much. I just don't. They don't produce enough damage. I'd rather just use the sword and just whack at them and just use an ether shroud. At this point, I've been slouched over for about an hour and 20 minutes. My back needed a cracking. Shout out my baby. Now, like I said earlier, I just can't get a good grip on what I'm doing. I'm just getting whacked over and over again. I'm running clockwise around the spawn, counterclockwise. I'm trying to find just a good way of training these guys, which leads me to lose my first dying wish. This right here is the most vulnerable you can get. Not only are you at 1 health, but you're completely depleted of armor plates, and you got full sprinters running right after you, so you cannot stop sprinting. My best advice for this is to run straight for the blue armor plate inside of the house, or use your ether shroud and buy it. That was kind of what I did. And then once I'm in my ether shroud, I run upstairs to the Wonder Fizz, buy my quick revive again, and then, man, good luck. Every time I went inside this house, it was a lose-lose. It's either you go in there to get armor plates and you come out with less armor plates than what you came in with. You either die and get surrounded, or somehow you manage to get away scot-free. I can count with one hand how many times I've gotten away scot-free. It's not worth it going in there with a whole horde knowing where you're at. So Ether Shroud is the only time I ever tried going in there. Then round 56 comes around and I lose it again and again, and then death got me. So overall, terrible run. So much wrong in that run, and all of my hopes and dreams just went down the drain. I was lost. In that moment, I remember thinking, am I even gonna be able to do this? But then I loaded up another game. This time I'm pissed. More focus than focus can get, and I'm determined. Nothing's gonna stop me, or will it? So I do the same setup again, get the back punch, get the sword, yada 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 yada. But now I'm using more than 2% of my brain here. I turn on rampage mode to get through the rounds so much faster. Last game it took me 2 hours just to get to round 56. This game, 40 minutes. Yeah, that's right, 40 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes shaved off just like that. I felt comfortable doing this because I was already fresh out of the game, so why not do it? So early rounds were incredibly easy. I'm just spanking zombies over and over again with this sword, and if I really wanted to use my decoy and thermite grenade, I would do that, but I honestly was not stressing at all whatsoever for the first 30 rounds. Honestly, the last game of zombies just really stressed me out, and I'm just really stressed out right now, so please don't judge. No judging here. I just really needed this. Anyways, now we're in the upper 30s, and it's gonna start getting hard from here, and even harder, and even harder, and even harder. My strategy still has a lot of flaws in it. I'm still losing armor plates over and over again. I'm still going into that house, which is a death trap, and I'm still trying to find a good way of going in and out of it, but there really is not. It's just very bad. I tried parrying on my way out of the door, but I'm still getting hit over and over again, and it's just not good going in there when the zombies know where you're at. Now we are in the upper 40s, and the zombies are all starting to become super sprinters because I still have rampage mode on. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I still have rampage mode on, even on round 45. I'm going through the path of most resistance. Also, I completely forgot to mention that I switched my gobble game up. So in this game, I have Perkaholic, I have Killjoy, Anywhere But Here, the full power gobblegum, and Time Out. No, whoa, wait, whoa, Spanky, read your own rules, man. You said specifically in rule 4 that there's no timeout gobblegum. Now, remember what I told you guys, how I'm going to have that gum on a very special, oh so juicy round? Keep that in mind, please. And calm down, alright? Pipe down. Another thing about this game that I did not do good on was I just kept holding on to 2 decoys and not using them often. In my later games, I probably have more kills with the thermal grenade than my actual sword. These lethals saved my life so many times. There's such an easy escape if you're in a bad situation, like if you're in the house, you can either use your ether shroud or you can throw a decoy. But one thing to know about the decoy is that it only fools the zombies. It does not fool the doppelgas or the amalgams. I also try to keep at least 1 decoy on me and 1 charge of the ether shroud on me just in case anything bad happens. Like I said, I do not want to get caught with my pants so far down my knees. Now let me talk to you guys about the new thing I added to this strategy. So back when I played Cold War, I used to love using the War Machine because it was just so good to use. Did a lot of damage, did a lot of crowd control very well. It's like Mustang and Sally's on crack, but that is not in this game. So I remembered, whoa, they just added a hand cannon in this game, and I have never used it before ever. And I wanted to find a better way to kill these doppelgas and these amalgams, and so I wanted to test it out. And may I say, very, very good. I think that most people overlook the hell out of this because they're just going to be using their mutant injections, but I think it is very good. One thing that is kind of weird about it though is that in early rounds it takes 6 shots to kill an amalgam, but in the later rounds it takes 4 to 5. Same thing with the doppelgas. In the early rounds it takes 2 shots, in the later rounds it is 1 shot, and that's if you aim straight for the head. So now amalgam rounds are just a little bit easier. I run away, I shoot them with a hand cannon, or I can still use my ether shroud and whack at them. All I know is that I have 2 ways of killing these things now, and they're both pretty safe. One thing I do have to add about the hand cannon, one thing I would recommend you guys do, is that once you get the hand cannon, pull it out immediately. You will do a small little animation. There have been so many times where I'm trying to kill these guys and all of a sudden I pull my gun out, my guy just wants to inspect the gun real quick, make sure it's all good. Bullshit. Now with every round I complete, I make sure I have 3 things. 1, I have all my decoys. 2, I have all my thermal grenades. And 3, I make sure I have my hand cannon. Now I am back on round 56 with an hour and 12 on the clock, shaving a total of 40 minutes because I am on rampage mode. And yes guys, I kept rampage mode on the entire time because I'm just trying to get used to their spawns. I'm still trying to get used to just everything going on. But alas, I lose my dying wish again. Now please forgive me on this next part. I did this out of pure fear, but this is what happens when you cheat. 73 rounds down the drain. Just like that. Another 2 hours of my life gone. On to day 2. I am now back home straight from a hard day's work with my chalky milk in hand and ready to kill. Look at that guy. He's just so serious. Can't this guy just calm down for a little bit? It's just a game. We know that's good. Yes, we know. Immediately back into the game. Go straight towards rampage mode. Get pack-a-punch. Get the sword. Get your weapons. Get all of that all done without any rest. Rampage mode stayed on from round 1 to 56. Non-stop. I was ready to go. I was determined. I'm trying to get this done for you guys. And most importantly, I'm trying to prove to myself that I can do this. I do not need no mangler injections, no raven sword, no nothing. It's time to grow some balls and get it done. Now last game, it was the first 30 rounds that were easy. I could confidently say that now the first 50 rounds are easy. Now that I know what I'm expecting in the late 60s and 70s, I know what to look out for. I know what to do. I know everything. I know what's going on. Nothing's gonna stop me, right? Right? Now in this game, I did change my gobble game up again. This time I took out anywhere but there and put in idolize. Now idolize makes the zombies and everyone stunned for 30 seconds. This is a perfect time to gear up again, to get your armor, to get anything that you need for 30 seconds. You can also use this on the amalgam rounds, which are perfect. What I may suggest is you wait until there are 2 amalgams out, because sometimes in the later rounds it could be either 1 or 2, and then I would pop it, focus on killing them. If you have any time left, I'd spend it on getting armor plates or getting kills with your sword to get that charge going. And then once it's done, you will be getting surrounded. And it's going to be scary, but you will get through it. Just throw a decoy down, throw your thermite grenade, kill any doppelgas that are still around you, and then rinse and repeat. There were a few times that I did have to leave spawn just because it was just getting too crowded. What I did was I would run away. I would either go through the Citadelle and go through the drains back into spawn. But a better route to take is that if you are low on armor plates, I would suggest that you would go to the cannon, shoot yourself off, go straight right into the house, get your armor plates, run as fast as you can out that bitch, and then start training again. I don't know if you guys have ever had this before, but I was so lasered into this game that I did not even see my baby coming in with my coffee. Now, you know how I said that there are two ways of me escaping spawn if it's getting a little too crowded, and one of them was going through the cannon and the other one was going through the Citadel into the sewers? Well, scratch that. Forget everything I just said. Do not go down here, because this is what happens. Round 77 is the round that I died on. This is the highest round that I've gotten in this game. Now, I forgot to mention, I haven't gotten to round 100 on this game quite yet. This is the first time I have. And matter of fact, this is actually the second map I've ever gone to round 100 on. The only other map that I've ever gone to round 100 on was D Machine. So if you guys want to see more videos of me getting to round 100, like I said, please leave a like and let me know. I don't know if I can promise you guys that I'm going to be doing a challenge like this again, because this took so much out of me. But on to the next game. Now this is seconds after me dying on round 77. I am pissed. Look at myself. Look at how weak that guy looks. I just remember thinking, I do not want to do this. Like, I am like forcing myself to do this. I'm still having fun, you know, but it's just, man, it takes so long to get to these rounds. Like, that took me another 2 hours to get to round 77. So far, I am at 6 hours of trying to get into round 100. Now, I won't really be saying much about this game, but the only difference is I was just getting very much more impatient and just playing with emotions, and that was what got me killed on round 69. I am now at a total of 8 hours of trying to get into round 100. That is a full day's work of trying to get to round 100. That is just mind-boggling to me. But this next part is off-camera work. I'm going to tell you guys a story about what happened off camera. So I went to the bathroom to take an aggressive shit just to get all my emotions out, and it did not do anything for me. I was still pissed. And then my baby brought me aside and she was like, hey, you can do this. You got this. I believe in you. And she was telling me more about how she was so proud of me and just hyping me up. And it was a very nice moment to have before game 5. Now, back in the 4th game, there were times where I would be narrating to myself in my head and being like, you know, okay, I'm going to timestamp this moment right here and talk about this and talk about that. And then for some reason, for some odd reason, I would keep saying in my head that it took me 5 games to get to round 100. And this is on game 4. In my head, I was like, okay, if I'm going to keep saying that this is going to be on my 5th game, then why not just leave now? Why not just save 2 hours of my life and just get right to game 5? But I did not want to do that. I thought that that was foolish. I thought that was just extremely dumb. But lo and behold, I can't believe that. Behold, game 5. Now, I really took time getting into this next game. Back on game 4, I was still getting hit a whole bunch. I was still losing a lot of armor plates. I was still losing a lot of my dying wishes. And I just need to figure out what to do here. What do I need to change? What is it that's going to make me not get hit as much? And my first thought was to change something out of the game, which would be my augments. I'm going to show you guys all the augments that I use this next game right here. Now, the perk that saved my life so many times was Vulture Aid. I cannot tell you how important this perk is to level up if you're going to be doing something like this, because this augment right here, which allows you to have drops that specifically target what is in your inventory. So decoys and my thermal grenades will drop so much more often. So now I can just keep spamming these thermal grenades and these decoys and just keep blowing by rounds and blowing through hordes. It is so worth it. Now, same with the last 4 games. I have it on Rampage mode. I go get Pack-a-Punch. I go get my Caliber, and I go get set up. One thing that I just have not mentioned yet are the bug rounds. Honestly, they're not a big deal. They're not hard at all. Just use your Mustangs and Sallys and just keep spamming them. It's no big deal. It didn't even phase me at all. They are literally free rounds. So now I have mastered this strategy. I've now figured out what I have to do to not get hit as much. I know where to run. I know where the spawns are. I know how to make them spawn the way I want them to spawn. and it is so perfect. And now let me get into detail with you guys on what the strategy was. So immediately I start the round by running clockwise around the Thor statue. That's just what I'm going to call it. So I'm running around the Thor statue, and I get a horde behind me. I immediately throw a decoy down right here, and then I run away, throw a thermal grenade. If there are doppelgasts that are spawning in, you want to throw that immediately, because if you wait to throw it, then odds are you're just going to bounce that thermal grenade right off its face. Then you just wasted a decoy and a perfectly good horde to burn alive. So once you throw your thermal grenade, you killed the doppelgast, then they will all die, and you will keep running clockwise again. Now, I have learned these spawns by heart. I am now at 8 hours into playing this game. Matter of fact, no, I'm at 9 hours now, because it's taken me an hour to get to round 60, and which is like a freaking record. Like, that is just killing it. So then you rinse and repeat. You run over to where you threw your thermal grenade, right where you threw your decoy, I meant, and you go around, you collect all of your salvage, or hopefully you get a decoy or a thermal grenade. You throw one down, you run away, throw a thermal grenade, kill any doppelgasts that are right in front of your face, rinse and repeat. Now, running around the Thor statue is very important to master. There are certain routes that I take. When I see a zombie in a certain point, sometimes I'll jump on a car, sometimes I'll jump in the well and out of the well. I will be just depending on where the zombie is that is right in front of me, I can either kill it with the sword, but literally just depending on where that zombie is, I'm just running around. But with the horde that I am killing immediately with the thermal grenade, I am now allowing to have all the zombies spawn in at the same time. So once I make it around the corner where the entrance is to the house, I now have almost the whole horde behind me. Now, when it comes to you having no decoys left, what I like to do is I like to run around, I like to horde up the zombies, and then use my special ability on my sword. And then loot the area if I don't get any more decoys. Then I keep running, and then I just keep killing 3 zombies and then running away, because these are super sprinters. These guys will catch you if you're just regularly running. If you're not sprinting, then you will be getting hit multiple times. But at one point, when you keep killing them with your swords and your sword's ability, there will be a decoy or a thermal grenade that will drop, and then you just rinse and repeat the strategy. But the most important part is managing your armor plates. Now, I like to sit comfortably at 2 armor plates, with the third one being slightly damaged. I do not like having no armor plates. If anything, I'm even comfortable with having 1 armor plate and a second damaged plate as well. You just have to make sure that your armor plate game is extremely good. I cannot tell you guys how important it is to have armor plates. You will be a 2-shot if you don't have any armors. Yes, a 2-hit. You will die just like that. It is unbelievable. Now, I like to mention this to you guys, that this is recorded on a Wednesday night. I do have work the next day. It is about 11 o'clock at night on a work night. I usually go to bed at around 9:30, but I had to get this done in order to get this video to come out today on Friday. This is by far the hardest thing that I have done. It is so difficult to do, to manage plates, to manage armor, to make sure you have at least 1 ether shroud. Sometimes I don't, and that's when the gobblegum with the full power comes in clutch. Is if you don't have any charge in your ether shroud, use that gobblegum. It is so clutch. It is so nice to have at least 1 inside your playing cards. But like I said, it just keeps getting harder and harder. I don't know how it does get harder. I've been doing this for almost 10 hours now, and it is just, oh my gosh, there are more doppelgasts that spawn in each round. So I think by round 82, I think I'm killing around 20 doppelgasts, which is a crazy amount. And not only that, but those bugs that are flying in the sky, they can mutate into one of those things. They can mutate into a doppelgast. So not only are there going to be a minimum of 25 spawning in at this point, but they can also be created if you're not killing these flies fast enough. By round 78, I have lost all of my dying wishes, so now I have to be flawless. I do have a self-revive kit, but man, it sucks when you have to use that because now you only have 3 random perks and good freaking luck trying to get all your perks back. It is so inconvenient. It is so hard to get all those perks back on this high of a round. But like I said, I'm on 80, now 81, 82, 83, 84, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Round 90. Now that I'm in the 90s, my chest feels like it's caving in. I am now 3 hours into this game. Right now, for me, this is all or nothing. If I don't get it this game, I didn't think that this video was gonna ever come out, because right now I am at 10 plus hours on trying to get this done, but the rounds just keep getting more and more difficult. More doppelgas spawn, more amalgam spawn, more. But I overcame the obstacles. I managed to kill all the doppelgas, kept throwing my decoys, kept throwing my thermal nades, kept burning those zombies down to hell. Now I'm on round 93, killing more zombies, more doppelgas, more. Now we hit round 94, the most essential round. This is a free round, so immediately I'm on round 95. But then wait, 96? 97? 98? This could be it. My heart beating, my balls sweating, everything about me is wet. I am using all of my might, all of my willpower to kill these zombies and to kill these doppelgas and just to survive. I'm using my gobblegums so precisely. I'm using every single swipe of my sword with precision, making sure everything in my arsenal is pitch perfect. I need to get this done. I could feel the round ending. With every zombie I kill, I can feel the round getting closer to getting to round 99. I'm just inches away, centimeters, millimeters. And then round 99 hits. Bug round. I have now made it to round 100. All I have to do is kill these spiders, kill these vermin, kill everything in this room over and over again. I'm covered in acid, I'm covered in spider webs, I'm getting slashed over and over again. Will I die? Will I make it? Of course I will. This is what's called a free round, damn it. Both my daughter and my wife are sleeping, so I can't make any sound. So I'm sorry if me reaching round 100 was totally like underwhelming, my reaction, but that's all I could give you guys. I'm sorry. And then, ladies and gentlemen, look at those 3 digits. Round 100. Now, remember earlier I did tell you guys I am saving the timeout gobblegum for a very, very important round, and that is so I can get to round 101 to Xville. So you could just say, hey, I made it to round 101, but we made it to round 100 without using any mangler injections, any RCXDs, no chopper gunners, no camping, no traps, no skipping rounds, no raven sword, and no glitches. All training, all skill, precise movement, good map knowledge, knowing what to do, when to do it, no fear. And then this happens. A random ass amalgam just out of nowhere almost kills me, almost making it so I could not evac. That would have been such a tragic way to end, but eventually I do exfil using a mangler injection. Yeah, I don't care, I didn't say no mangler injections, but we're on round 101, baby, and we freaking made it. Guys, this was the most challenging thing I had to do in zombies. I've done some pretty challenging Easter eggs, but none of them have come to even close to being as hard as what I have done here. I have proven you do not need mangler injections. You do not need to camp. You do not need to follow the trend. Do what you guys want to do and take the road with most resistance, because that reward in the end is going to feel so much better. If you have stuck around through this entire video, I just want to give you guys a special thank you so much for the support, and thank you guys so much for watching. This took me so long to do, and not only that, I'm probably going to take like 3 or 4 hours on editing, so I will be like 14 hours into this one video. So please leave a like on this video, subscribe if you really want to subscribe, and the last thing, If you guys want to spank my bells, I will not stop you. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.